Hey guys, what's going on? Time for another video. It's the Bassmaster Classic coming up, and at that time of year, a lot of companies use this time period as a product release, and Shimano is no different. So before we get into the products, let's do me a favor and click subscribe down below if you can. If you haven't, because 85% of the people who watch our videos really aren't even subscribed, they're just getting them through recommended videos. So if you click subscribe and click get notifications, that'll put our videos into your feed so you'll know when we post something new. Today's video is really all about some new baits, and this one bait in particular, this is the ENBER 60SP. So this is a new addition to the Shimano FLASHBOOST or World Series of lures. You saw the World Diver and the World Minnow and the World Crank and the World Pop come out last year. Well, this is a new addition, ENBER 60SP. This is a shad-shaped suspending crank slash jerk bait. Now, I've had a chance to work this thing a lot. It has incredible action, whether you are going to be straight rolling it or reeling it in. It's got a great shad-shaped tight wobble. It's going to be really killer in cold water situations. But spring of the year, when the fish are, in that cold water, smallmouth and largemouth and spots, and they're on that smaller forage, this little 60 millimeter bait is going to be killer. Now, this little bait is really the definition of versatility. It's going to work so well, but it is light. So what I will tell you about this bait is that although it is a small compact thing, it does cast incredibly well despite its light weight. But the big features about this bait are obviously the FLASHBOOST technology, which, it's that mirror foil suspended on two micro springs inside the body so that when you twitch or you're reeling this bait, it's going to capture light and reflect it quite a bit. But most importantly, when you stop this little suspending bait, it'll still shimmer, giving the bait a lifelike injured bait fish appeal, which in clear water situations, there is nothing like it on the market. The other thing it has is SCALEBOOST, and SCALEBOOST is a holographic pitch pattern that is in the side, so when the bait hits light at certain ways, you see a realistic holographic scale pattern on this bait. And then the other thing is, it does not have jet boost, which is one of the World Series lures selling features, but it does have a weight transfer system. So because of its small size, there was no room really to have that sliding weight on the rail. So they've got the traditional tungsten weight transfer system in here as well. When you look at the lip design on this thing, you can tell right away, super wide lip design up in the middle to a very pointed edge. It cuts very well, and this bait is going to run into that 6 to 8 foot depth, which is really critical in those cold water situations. For us up here in the north, where we fish a lot of smallmouth, this little bait is going to do a ton of damage, and not just for bass. I mean, I can see this thing already for crappie fishing, for perch fishing, for rock bass fishing. I did so well last year throwing the Macbeth 39F, that little tiny square bill crankbait that goes, 1 to 3 feet. I think this thing is going to be a perfect complement to that bait, especially on pressured clear water fish or on days early in the year, like I said, when the water is cold. 2 hooks on this bait, super sticky sharp. If you've picked up any of the World Series of lures, the hooks are premium quality hooks, and it's going to be available in 10 colors. Now let's get to the specs. Now for the specs, like I mentioned, this bait is going to be available in 10 colors, but the nuts and bolts about the bait, 1/5 of an ounce or 6 grams, depending if you're using metric or imperial. And the other thing is the size. It's called a 60 SP for a reason. It's 60 millimeters long, which is 2.4 inches in length, and SP stands for suspending. The bait is designed to dive to 6 feet on 8-pound test from what I have gathered, depending on the brand you use. Now here's something for you guys. The diameter of your line is so wide range depending on the brand you're using. So when we tested this bait, we were throwing it on Sunline FC Sniper. There's a few brands on the market, especially the Japanese brands of fluorocarbon and monofilament, have much smaller diameter than domestic brands. So keep that in mind. The thicker the diameter of your line, the less depth you will get at a lure. So it really depends what line you're using as to what depth you will achieve. But if you want deeper depths, go lighter in line or smaller in diameter. If you want it to run shallower, you can always go up to 8, 10, or 12-pound test, and that will make this bait run shallower. MSRP on the new ENBER 60SP from Shimano is going to be $18.99 US, and they should be hitting stores hopefully sometime after the Bassmaster Classic. So there you have it, guys. That is a new bait part of the World Series of Lures from Shimano, the ENBER 60SP. Check them out when you get a chance. I think they're going to be absolutely killer, and I already have a couple of shows planned with this bait come springtime in the St. Lawrence River, if you know what I'm talking about. So do me a favor, if you haven't, click subscribe down below and click get notifications. That'll make sure the videos get into your feed. And also, if you have any comments or questions about a setup you would throw this with, leave it down below. Leave a comment down below. For me, I'm going to tell you right away, a bait like this, 1/5 of an ounce, I'm probably throwing this on a medium light spinning rod or a light power spinning rod with 5-pound Power Pro or up to a maximum of 8-pound Super 8 Slick V2. And I'm going to run a fluorocarbon leader between 6, 8, or 10-pound test. But most times I get away with 10-pound FC Sniper from Sunline. That's a great combination to throw this a long way in clear water. 2500 size reel, 7 foot to 7'6" rod. It's aces. It's going to really do a great job. Hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all keeping safe. And most of all, I hope you're all catching fish. We'll talk to you soon.